The tide is high, but I'm holding on. I'm gonna be your numb. Okay, greetings, Scorpio. All placements. Someone is like, the tide is high, but I'm holding on. They're gonna ride that wave. They're gonna be your number one. Someone here wants to be your number one because they are not the kind of person to give up like that. They're just not gonna give up like that. It could have been 2 years, 3 years, 7 years, 20 years, 2 decades since you've seen someone, but the tide is high and they're holding on. Dun, dun, dun. Also, I was hearing, Sade classy with the freaky side. She remind me of my Jeep. Yeah, you know what it is. You might get some kids if we chill. Girl, you giving me the vibes. I can tell. Okay, so that's Vito, Queen vibes. In that song, he's like, she don't take no and she be on her. So someone is actually liking this about you. So Scorpio, if you're someone who you're like, man, no one understands me. I've been single for ages. No one likes my accountability. This like just, no one likes how real you are. Finally, someone is coming in who appreciates it, who loves it, who is going to, they're going to adore you for it. And not only that, Scorpio, but it seems like they might be fighting over you with their friends. Because I was getting this vision. Well, I was hearing the song, it's by Cody Chestnut, it's called Out of Nowhere, and the lyrics are slightly different than this, but this is how I was hearing it. So someone sees you, out of nowhere, she appears. Out of nowhere, someone appears. So someone could have been scrolling, you showed on their Explore page, or someone could be like out with their friends and then you walked in, or, it's like a situation like that. Someone else could be scrolling or someone else could be doing something, they look over and they catch a glimpse of you. So something here is like passing, scrolling by, or someone here could be like in the comment section and they saw someone in the comment section, they're like, And so, it's like you sparked someone's interest, right? So out of nowhere, she appears, looking like something I wasn't looking for. So you're not this person's usual type. You could be the total opposite of what they typically go for. But obviously what they typically go for isn't working for them. So she's not to be compared or confused with any other. She is her own unique thing. She is a stranger in my life. It's from a distance. So this person does not know you, or if they kind of know of you, or if it's like acquaintances, you don't know each other that well. Like you're not on friend terms. You could be maybe acquaintance terms or maybe not. Maybe it's total stranger. You've just seen them online, or you've seen them in the comment section. They've seen you in the comment section. Now in the Queen Vibes song, really giving me the vibes, we should link up, he says. So someone could be sending a message, they want to link up with you. Again, I was hearing the song, I was channeling this for a while, The Same Girl. So is that Usher? I don't know, The Same Girl. So again, someone here, their whole friend group can kind of be fighting over dibs, like who is going to be able to, so it can be like dry as a desert and then out of nowhere a ton of offers and you're going to have to choose and, be discreet and discerning in your choices, Scorpio. Now, this can also be like if you're looking for something, if you're looking for an apartment and a house and you're just like not having success, you're hunting, nothing's coming up. All of a sudden, there's going to be like a ton of offers and you're like, oh my gosh, this is overwhelming. And you're going to have to really use that scorpion, deep depth energy to tap into what is going to be the best situation for you. And, Scorpios in their shadow side can get into situations because they're curious about it, but deep down their soul knows it's not the be all end all. Their soul knows that it's just like a passing through experience. Whereas the person that they're engaging with or dating could think, man, this is going to be my husband or this is going to be my wife. Whereas a Scorpio is like, man, this is going to be a really nice 1 or 2 year relationship, but they're not going to be my husband or my wife. Where it's like, if they could consciously understand that, then maybe they could just be smart enough to not enter the relationship and not waste the other person's time. Not that things are a waste of time, but if you're going into something and you outright know that that's not going to be the person you end up marrying, it's just going to be a nice relationship for now, and the other person is wanting that, I don't know. So there is something like that going on, because I do feel like someone here in this situation is in a relationship. Perhaps even the person who wants to come towards the Scorpio is worried because they're in a relationship. So then their friends are like, dibs, because you're in a relationship. But now that person is like, I have to leave this comfort situation to go towards, that, which isn't even, as he says, isn't even something I was looking for. She doesn't look like something I'm looking for. She can't be compared. She's an anomaly. She's her own in her own bubble. And that's also why you're sparking someone in a way that they've never been sparked before. This can also be an employer who's so sick of the same. They're like, yeah, I've seen it all before. But then there's you. There's something different about you, your work ethic, something about the pizzazz, what you bring to the table, your heart. It's your heart, Scorpio, is what it is. Someone here could drive a Jeep, or someone here could like Jeeps. Yeah, something with Jeeps. Also, there's a song I feel like going on, The Storm Made Me Strong. So someone here is out of multiple dark nights of the soul, and it's like after you've had so many ego deaths, you just simply don't react to the traumas of life the same because you don't have an attachment. I was saying this in one of the earlier readings. I can't remember which one it was. I really think it was Libra, Aquarius, or Gemini, although I don't know. Maybe it was Cancer, because theirs was. Anywho, going to trail off with that. So there is an energy here of someone who has been through a lot of ego deaths. And with every ego death, they no longer have attachment to the material things in life. So whenever they lose things in life, they're like, oh, okay, well, God says that experience is up, like the time's up. So instead of being like, no, I can't let this be taken from me. No, I'm going to fight. I'm going to hold on. This can't. I need this. And clenching onto it. They're just like, they effortlessly let things come and go into their life because they trust and they know God brings things in whenever it's time, and he takes things away when it's time. And the sooner that you can accept and embrace and just appreciate the life experience, which is just that, it's an experience. Yes, we have some choices, but we don't have the choices of what stays and goes, what comes and goes in our life. That's all up to God. We can choose something, and if things happen to stay around us or be attracted and magnetized to us and it works and it's cohesive in that time, then great. But if they are starting to pull away, do not chase, do not try and pull them back, because again, you're not God. It's like if God is pulling them in a different direction, accept and embrace the chapter, the time together, and release. I'm now hearing that song Graduation. As we go on, we remember all the times we had together, and as our lives change from whatever, we will still... Okay, so vitamin C. So we talked all night about the rest of our lives. Where are we gonna be when we turn 25? I keep thinking times will never change. Yeah, so someone here could have had like a lot of nostalgia, and I don't know, I just think of like growing up, I was a super emotional child, like super emotional, and death after death, and all of my ego deaths, it's like all of that shed. And now I have all that emotion, but instead of me being reactive with it, I create with it. You know, I infuse it into playing the harp. I infuse it into the horses, or into and like other animals, my cat. Like I infuse it into people. I infuse it into my clients. I infuse it into all the different things that I do with my photography. I put that emotion into other things. So when I feel deep pain or a deep loss, instead of just, I mean, there are moments of that impeccable grief, of course, but I understand that God uses experiences of pain and grief to move and transform people and to introduce them to deeper parts of their soul and their creativity and what they were brought here to do. You see, I didn't start playing the harp and learn how to do that until a traumatic brain injury from a drunk driver hitting my car head on and totaling my car and the two cars after mine. It took that event before I finally decided that it was a worthwhile investment for me to buy that expensive of an instrument and invest in learning how to read music. I hired a teacher for a year and a half, took lessons every single week. Now I do things online, do online programs. But I invested in that and I was consistent with it until I really got a solid base of it. And it took an extremely traumatic event where I was like, I might never be the same. And yet it's funny because I feel like that instrument has given me superpowers, but it's really just because playing an instrument raises your IQ, it raises your EQ, it creates neuroplasticity and healing in your brain that other things cannot create. And so someone here, needs to go through these experiences, and you're going to be a whole new specimen on the other side. And someone else here is still on that adolescent side where things are really emotional. They just can't understand. They're still really attached. They're very material. So it's like there's a breaking apart of two different people because someone has been through the spiritual experience and someone is not. Now, So someone has already gone through this experience, this initiation, and they're single, and there's another person in a relationship at a distance who is experiencing this separation with their current partner, and their current partner is like fighting and does not want to let them go, but the other person just knows in their heart this is not it. Like they know there is something more for them. So, bless you.